Welcome to the back of the Jeep. I've just finished up a couple of rounds with discs that I picked up on a trip to Florida from the Disc Golf Center in DeBerry, Florida. You should definitely check in. They got a great used selection and then a tremendous selection of new stuff from all manufacturers. So spent some money there, picked up some discs. I've been playing the last couple of rounds with them, and I thought I'd talk through how they've flown for me. So let's take a look. Starting at the fastest, picked up a retro river. I love the river, throw the river all the time in a bunch of different plastics. This one's not too badly beat in, even though it came from the used bin, but it does that nice flip to flat. My longest throws of these rounds have been with this disc. I mean, that's not saying much. Most of the others are putters and approaches. Around 300 feet if I get a good nose down line on it. Great disc. If you're not throwing a river, you should give it a shot. Lots of glide, lots of distance. The next disc that I picked up was a Lone Star Harpoon. This is then the Lima plastic, so it's 152 grams, nice and flexible. It felt like it was supposed to be a zone in the hand or zone similar, so overstable, and instead it's just very straight with the tiniest bit of fade, consistent, reliable fade at the end if you give it enough air. I actually kind of like it. It flies pretty far. Flies like a mid-range. It flies faster, I think, than its numbers suggest, because it is very thin profiled. But best part is because it's kind of rubbery, when it hits a tree, it just kind of dies and drops. So that might actually find a place in my bag. We'll see as we continue playing. The next disc I really wanted to love, and a lot of people do love the Pure. This is a zero gravity Pure, so it's 129 grams, I think. Can't see it right this second. Anyway, 129 grams, very lightweight. It has that traditional putter profile. The Pure is very classic. A lot of people like it. I don't get along with that beveled edge on that traditional putter profile. So every time I threw this, it felt like it wanted to sky way up high. Very workable. Great disc. The hand feel and that tendency to throw up didn't work for me. On the other hand, a disc with very similar numbers is the Shaman. This is the Quadruple S Sure Grip. I love the rubber, the plastic. It feels super rubbery, super tacky and sticky. It, on the other hand, has that nice flat bottom there that feels better in my hand. It reminds me a lot of the Keystones that I usually throw. It's a little bit thinner, a little bit faster, but it's the same sort of profile going on there, and that feels great in the hand. Got some nice turnover shots. I got some nice straight flip to flat, some full S curves. I've seen it kind of do it all in the last couple of days, and I really like it. It feels like a slightly less glidey Keystone. They're both going around 200 feet for me, so I don't know that there's a distance differential. If I added it to the bag, I feel like it would fight with the Keystone, but it's kind of cool and does its own things more. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out as time goes on. The next disc is the same mold, but 3 times over. The first is the Opto Sinus. The Sinus is your kind of standard overstable approach disc. 2202. In my mind, it compares favorably in the hand with the Harp and in the flight with the Harp. So if we're thinking Harp, Zone, Pig, I think the Sinus is a good representative of that style of disc. Gets decent distance, a little over 200 feet, very reliable fade. But one of the things I've been thinking about with fade is that this disc, when it fades, it wants to travel left. And that's what we think of in terms of fade. But I've got another disc that I've been throwing that has extreme amounts of fade, but not like travel left fade, but like turn into a dive bomb fade. So I'm wondering if we need to have a conversation about what fade really means, if we're talking about get left or get down. I don't know. We'll see. I also was putting with the Zero Hard Sinuses. These are both digi-stamped, so these are old stock for sure. They're in pretty decent shape, again, out of the used bin. I really like the textured grip pads. I would love to see that on a Keystone. Never going to happen, but I enjoyed that. Original numbers instead of 2202 were something like 2102 or 3. And I think these do have a little less glide than the new Opto. I don't know if it's the textured pads or just the nature of how it came out of the mold. But these are less glidey. In terms of putting with them, inside 15 feet, they were fine. Most putters are. but when I got outside, I felt like I was having to put them on a lot of ante to get them where they wanted to go. So I'm sure they're super controllable in the wind, but I look forward to putting with my Keystones on the regular again. The last disc I was throwing was the AGL Baobab, and this 4-speed thing, I feel like that just lies. If 4-speed is an indication of distance, which I know probably it's not, it's, you know, how fast the disc, blah, 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 but this is a 1-speed. That's how far this goes. I don't think I could get this to break 200 feet. The 013, totally true. This is where that fade, it doesn't work left. It goes down. So for those that are throwing the Berg, I think the Baobab is what people claim the Berg is in terms of not being able to throw past the basket. This you cannot throw past the basket. Not quite the same profile, but they're both meaty in the hand, both kind of have this a little bit more pronounced thumb track. Calling this a 4-speed seems just unfair. This is not that. This is definitely a 1-speed. Could you give the disc a 0-speed? Super beefy, gets to the ground, dive bombs, will skip and roll. I think it's got a place in the bag, maybe? Because the flights it gets are cool. Like, is it a 1-speed tilt? I don't know. I've not thrown the tilt. I can't get any range out of this. I feel like I have to throw it really hard to get it to do anything, and then the ground play is crazy. So, I don't know. Cool disc, though. So, those are the discs I've been throwing. Hope that was helpful to you. Remember to rejoice in Christ, meditate on His Word, and I hope I'll see you next time.